Have you ever read Giant-Size Spider-Man and Dracula #1? This comic book was released in July of 1974 and features two stories. One, 30 pages of Spider-Man and Dracula, and the last part of the comic book is a reprint of Strange Tales Annual #2. So we see here on the first page, there's a flu pandemic that's sweeping the city. Spider-Man is stopping a jewelry crime, but we really don't get any closure to that until you read Marvel Tales Team Up 23. But basically the premise of the story is that Peter is being told by a physician that Aunt May is ill with a variant strand of the flu. And so he recruits Johnny Storm and the Fantastic Four to help him get out to a boat. This boat is carrying Dr. Maxwell, and she is holding the vaccine for this specific variant. We see Peter running into Dracula, but he never really battles Dracula per se. We also see the Whisperer. The Whisperer thinks to himself, if I can get a hold of Dr. Maxwell, I can use the vaccine as sort of blackmail against the U.S. government to get back in with a full pardon. We see here that some of the people who work for the Whisperer are then running into Dracula, and we see Dracula, his powers, how he seduces a woman and bites her. And then we sort of see more of Dracula and a lot of action of the web crawler, but really no battle between Dracula and Spider-Man, which is very sad, but that's the way it is. In fact, this is the way the comic book ends. He thinks he throws Dr. Maxwell off. Dr. Maxwell is actually a woman, not the man. The man is actually the boat physician, and that's sort of how it ends. Also, in 1994, they did a reprint called Spider-Man versus Dracula. And sort of we see here how it's been updated, and essentially the exact same story, just sort of has more of that 90s feel and print. We can see here that some things are a little bit different, but for the most part, it's essentially the same comic book. You ever read this before? You ever come across Spider-Man versus Dracula, which really can't call it versus because it didn't even actually fight each other. But it's really cool to see Spider-Man battling these mythological creatures. Something like Dracula. Also in this book, we see a story here by Stan Lee called Vampire at the Window, which is really interesting as well. Thanks for watching. Take care.